hello, and welcome to another meeting of the Afterschool Anime Club. My name's Max Newland, I'm your host for today, and with me today, as always, are two of your co-hosts. First of all, she's finally coming to the terms with the fact that he is, in fact, Vash the Stampede. It's Stevie Matos.
Hello! Out of that med bed, ready to party.
Ready to party, and he's not worth $60 billion double dollars, but we love him anyway. It's Max Kostrak.
I wish I could get a bounty that high. Hello, everyone.
You deserve.
If I could piss off the government that much.
All you gotta do is piss off the government, maybe destroy a whole town.
Yeah.
In today's dollars, though, not just $60 billion, $60 billion double dollars, which is $120 billion.
That's a lot of dollars.
That'd be pretty darn good.
Yeah. You gotta get creative.
That's the GDP of some countries.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm starting to get a little concerned about the financiers of this bounty. Like, who has that money? What are they doing with it?
Nothing.
Fucking Cliff and his friends holding on to it.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
I do like how the society has, like, well-established insurance infrastructure.
I mean, that's the one thing that the Wild West was missing. Insurance. Actual legitimate insurance agents that weren't crooked as hell. On the subject, this is not related to this anime at all. This is the fastest tangent ever. But has anybody been following the pastor out of New York who like got robbed at gunpoint, and then like when he went to go file his insurance claim, like the city of New York was like, hold on a second, and then you find out that this dude has been like thrown in jail for like insurance fraud. Have I told you about this guy?
What?
That's
my god!
new to me.
I will drop
Real
this in the
life Vash the Stampede.
Yeah, but he's like a pastor. He was like a pastor of a megachurch in New York. He was robbed at gunpoint. He said he got like $1 million of jewelry robbed off of him. But when he went to go file his insurance claim, essentially like I guess like whatever you have to do to get your insurance to make sure that it's legit, I guess you have to get lawyers involved, but like other people, like other lawyers or something. Some big institution was like, hold on a second, didn't you fleece a woman out of her $90,000 life insurance policy? Hold on a second, aren't you like $4.5 million in arrears on a property in Jersey? Hold on a second, didn't you go to court for insurance fraud? And you're like, what? Nuts. I'll drop the links in the chat. They're crazy.
Stevie, I think here's a problem I'm having is that you have described a character from Trigun because I'm imagining them in the pastor garb and like there's a big gun underneath that, and then all of this happens, and this is pretty close to some of the plots of the episodes that we have watched.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes, correct. Yeah.
And we find out 100%. He has like a
100%.
tragic reason for doing all of that, and didn't really want to do it in the first place, you know, that kind of thing.
No, but had to do it. Had to do it to him.
Had to do it to him. And you know, that's what I was thinking today as I was going over the draft of a certain game.
No. No.
I got a new one for you. I got
a
new one.
Just came up with. This is a game called Famous Cast Words.
That's okay. I know why this is. This happening because the names in this show are goofy as hell.
No, it's a little different. It may not be exactly what you're thinking of. You know how IMDb has a quotes section?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started looking in the quotes section for all of the shows that we've watched. And you got to tell me what character said what. I'm going to give you a quote. You tell me who said it. How's that sound?
Okay, I'm ready for this.
Let's go.
Pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah, let's do it. Are we buzzing again or not?
Yeah, let's get you buzzing. I like the energy that brings to the show.
It really makes us feel official.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the rules are simple. I felt like let's do an easy one. Let's do one straight across the bow. Everyone can pick this up. Quote number 1. Curiosity killed the cat. Well, good thing I'm not a cat. That's Kostrak.
And we are guessing the character, right?
Yeah.
Is this Sailor Moon? Is this Usagi?
It's not Usagi.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Off base there. Stevie, do you have a guess? Oh, there she is.
Yes. Is it Tenchi?
That was Tenchi.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
And she said that in the very first episode. Curiosity killed the cat. Good thing I'm not a cat.
Yeah, I was like,
I remember that now.
I was like,
Damn.
only one of our two doofy fucking teenagers could have said that, and if it wasn't
exactly.
Serena,
You had a 50-50 on teens.
really.
Speaking of 50-50, I think this next one's going to be really easy for you guys. But, fingers on buzzers anyway. I don't let anyone in my sight get away, and my bullets never miss their mark. Especially if it's the heart of a beautiful lady. Bang! That's Kostrak.
It's Vash the Stampede.
That was Vash the Stampede, yeah. Yeah.
I almost forgot to buzz in because I was just cracking up internally at that quote. What a character. What a character.
Yeah.
So ridiculous.
All right, number 3. Number 3, Grandpa, you're hitting on everyone that comes by here. People are scared to come to the temple. That's Stevie that time.
Is that Ray?
Yep. That's Ray, Sailor Mars.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Now, this next one might be difficult, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you this is from Tenchi.
Okay.
Right off the bat, this is from Tenchi Muyo. Comics for girls? What is that? Stevie.
Oh no! Comics and girls. What is that Tenchi? Is it Tenchi?
It was not Tenchi.
Okay.
Kostrak, do you have a guess?
Yeah. It's not Ryoko. Is it what's her name? Aisha? Or no? I'm thinking somebody.
You're thinking of Ayaka, but unfortunately, it was in fact Ryoko.
It was a Ryoko. Damn.
It was a Ryoko. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Okay, that's a point for Newland right there. Next up, again from Tenchi, because I knew this would be kind of a tough one. Why? Why must I suffer from this kind of disgrace?
Oh, I remember this.
Stevie.
Ayaka?
Yes, indeed, that one was
Hell
Ayaka.
yeah.
Gotta put yourself in the mind of the princess,
Yeah.
Okay.
How dare I pay consequences for my actions? It's very Ayaka.
How dare people call me out on my abrasive behavior?
Ah.
Next one might be easy. I don't have to tell you what show it's from, because you'll get it from the context clues. Here it is. How nice of you to join us, Tuxedo Mask. You can share the same fate they're going to suffer. That's Kostrak.
Is that one Jedi?
That was Jedi indeed.
Jed.
It's
I'm
from the
Jed.
IMDb page. It's from the IMDb page for the Deke dub. So they do in fact spell his name Jedite. Not.
My name's
really
Jed,
love
and this
that.
is my rock.
Oh God.
Number 7, we're halfway through. Here's the quote. My power is severely amplified by the phases of the planet's moon.
Oh,
Kostrak
dang
again.
it.
Oh my god. I'm so bad with names. Kataro. Clan. Aisha Clan.
Yes, indeed, that was
I
Aisha
I start
Clan.
getting the words like revving up an engine, trying to figure out where the hell I was going.
Oh, man. Okay, number 8. Everyone ready?
Yes.
Ready.
Okay, here's your quote. Hello, Masaki home. Oh, that sounds like if I were married to the family. How embarrassing. What do you think? Do you think it sounds that way? That's Stevie.
Mihoshi?
That's a Mihoshi right there.
Yes, I remember that exact quote.
Me too.
You two are doing great this round. Okay. I got number 9 coming up hot for you. Here it is. Dangerous toys are fun, but you could get hurt. That's Stevie again.
Is that Vash the Stampede?
That was Vash the Stampede.
Nice.
Right.
The Stampede.
Stevie taking a nice lead.
Yes,
Good at
we're at
this.
Stevie has 5, and Max, you're behind with only 2 at the moment. We're going into question 10.
I
There's
had
12
3.
total.
No, I think you
Wait.
have 3.
Oh, you-
Newland, you have 1.
You do. No. You're right. Kostrak does have 3. That's true.
Getting my points.
We have 3 left to go. It's anyone's game.
Okay.
Anyone's game. This next one, again, might be pretty easy. Here we go. Number 10. Does this man look like the legendary gunman Vash the Stampede? That droopy-eyed, weak-looking, bristle-headed, promiscuous-looking donut freak of a man? That's Stevie.
Is that Meryl?
Yeah, that's Meryl. I like how she slips in promiscuous-looking in there. Like, what? That's a little Freudian
It's the
of you,
beauty
man.
mark. Right?
All right, we've only got 2 left. Competition's heating up. This one we specifically commented on in the episode, so this might be easy. 11. I love tuna fish and field mouse pudding. I think that was Stevie once more.
Yeah.
Is that Luna?
That was Luna.
What a quote.
It's so
I love
good.
these quotes. This game
too.
rules.
Okay, and this is our capstone. This is the last one, number 12.
Okay.
Here it is. Just how long are you gonna keep whining? You gonna keep running away? Stevie, one more time.
Is that Hot Ice Hilda?
You are correct. That was Hot Ice Hilda. Congratulations, Stevie Matos, the winner of this week's game.
Well earned.
When I tell you I am
8
dabbing,
points.
I mean it.
I believe it. I believe I
Let's
can
all
see it
do
in
a
my
quick
mind's
dab
eye.
in Stevie's
Yeah.
honor.
You deserve it.
Let's
Just
all
dab.
unless you're driving, because that requires a lot of very dangerous operations. If
Yeah.
you're behind the wheel of a motor vehicle.
Please don't dab while operating heavy machinery.
No dabbing and driving.
Sailor says no dab, don't dab and drive.
Dab on the bus though. It's good for the environment.
Can you imagine if they did that with this show? They like tried to sandwich in like a little lesson at the end of every episode.
There should be, every episode should have a says. A Vash says at the end of this would be really good. Remember not to pour your whiskey off of a very high structure.
What would they be? Like would it be like remember kids, drinking because you've lost a loved one is understandable after a point, but after a while it just turns into alcoholism. Reach out to your friends if you need support. Like what would it be? Jeez.
If you're gonna wave a gun around, make sure you don't kill anybody.
Right. Guns are fun, but they're dangerous.
Are you fully informed on the dangers of puppy play?
Oh, God. I think that's our transition, Max. If you want to tell us what happened in this episode so that we can now talk about it.
Yeah. I feel like I can give you some understanding of what happened in this episode, and I'll do my best to, listener. But yeah, we watched 5 and 6 of Trigun, and this is what happened. Episode 5, Hard Puncher, begins with Vash the Stampede, a very wanted man. This episode sees multiple groups all gunning for the price on his head. Things get pretty heated up, and Meryl and Millie step in to calm everyone down, but a mysterious loudspeaker calls off the assault on Vash. This is the town's chairman, and he gets an earful about his local militia's gung-ho attitude. Unfortunately, the big man has already called in the last resort, i.e. some kind of giant steam-powered guy named Nebraska. Breaking news, a local child is here to report they caught Vash. We learn that the population here are refugees in their own home, unable to leave and ailing. The Nebraskas force a confrontation, and once Vash is finished tending to the wounded, he obliges them. For the first time in the series, Vash successfully fires his gun 5 times, diverting Govsef's spinning fist, saving the 6th for the knockout blow. Meryl can no longer run from the truth. Love and peace! Episode 6, Lost July, starts right where the last one left off, with our agents finally taking on their official damage control duties. Ding ding! The biggest train you've ever seen is here, and among its passengers is a lady everyone can't stop themselves from noticing. She knows a thing or two about Vash, and it turns out she's also commissioned him to be her bodyguard. Plus, some other stuff. Don't think about that. Think about this cool ninja who comes out of nowhere and blows up Vash's room. Things start to get messy at the plant, and, surprising no one, it's a trap. Elizabeth wants revenge for the destruction Vash wreaked on her home, but it'll take more than a meltdown to put him down. And in the end, he tries to make things right by revealing some interesting facts about himself. And that's where we left it, on episode 6, Trigun.
Yeah.
These were 2 pretty good episodes of anime.
Yeah, they were wonderful. I like how Outlaw Star also had episodes that kind of like, they weren't always episodic. So I was going to say this is our first anime that where like the story kind of continues over episodes, but that's not actually true. But this is the first time we see it in Trigun for sure. But I really liked these 2 because it through what we've been talking about for the last couple of episodes while we've been going through Trigun, is how we're getting to know more about Vash through the people that Vash interacts with, and we really get to see that in episode 6. We really get to see his stakes in episode 5, which I think is always, I was like, oh, this is why I really loved this show as a kid. I've got stakes written in all caps here in my notes, Stevie. You're right on the mark. Mm-hmm.
And they did a really great job, I think, of moving things forward kind of in a bigger way. Because not only are now are we hearing about Vash's past and his reputation from other people, we're starting to get a little bit straight from the horse's mouth. Like, he's actually opening up about himself and his life. And maybe like a little bit about who he is from his own perspective, which is important, obviously. Like, we can't just learn about Vash from third parties. We're eventually going to have to learn about Vash from Vash. And that's beginning now. Right.
Which I really, really like. Things that I also liked in episode 5. What did I write? I love a good clothesline moment. I just love the entire chase scene. It was really fun. It was really fun, well animated. Him falling through the clotheslines was honestly some of my favorite like frames in that episode, along with the grandma.
Beautifully drawn, really cool animation. Compared to the last episode we just discussed, which had a lot of like just stilted, not good animation. This was a fluid episode start to finish. So many great little sequences.
5 and 6 both were like, you can clearly tell this is where they were spending the time. Like, some really good stuff. There's a fight scene in episode 6. Where Vash fights the like ninja assassin in the nuclear reactor or whatever.
Knife Man.
So cool. Like, beautifully fluid animation. Like, I could swear the frame rate got a step up in those sequences even.
Yes,
definitely.
Yes. This was the cool alternate universe where Gene wasn't shit with his gun fighting a key pirate.
I do love how competent Vash is, despite being as much of a dumbass that he is.
Yeah, because it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, what did you say in the last episode where it was like, Newland, where it was like a good samurai lets his sword rest in his sheath? Know what you said?
He never draws it.
Yeah, and so it's like, it's nice to know, like, we get to see this this person who actively tries, like we said this before, but like actively tries not to fight, but can if he needs to. And we got to see it in both episodes, actually, which I really liked.
Yeah, this kind of reluctant warrior is like a really fun archetype, and always like, because it has this built-in, like, you know that in a minute he's going to stop being a reluctant warrior and actually fight. So there's always this tantalizing hook of knowing that when this guy gets serious, it's going to really go down.
I never get tired of this. I got to be honest.
Same.
I love this.
Big anime thing. Huge, like, always works on me when they do it in an anime. Like, anytime you can prop a guy up as like, this is the guy to beat, and then, you know, we see him for like 5 episodes just kind of goofing around. When he started, it's weird to say he starts this fight with Nebraska, but he basically starts and finishes it like at the same time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And it's because, and what I like about it too is that, like, what I like about this archetype in anime is that, yes, they are a reluctant hero, but it's like, yes, I want to say that it's reluctant, but it's also like the certain conditions have to be met for me to jump into the fray. It's very much like, these aren't my problems, I'm just passing through. And then it's like, oh, you've proven to me that you need my help, you know, and it's like, now I will help you. And I think we really see that with episode 5, especially with all the women in the you know, building, where they explain to him, in the bar, where they explain to him, it's like, no, we really need the bounty on your head. And he's
the
like,
whole city's suffering.
Yeah. It's like, so my fate is the reason why, like, my fate is the thing that, like, that will determine your future. Well, let me take your fate into my hands since it's so necessary for you. Let me help you get what you need, while preserving myself, because because it doesn't align with his rule, right, of love and peace, of spreading love and peace. And I think that's really cool.
Really consistent. I like it.
Yeah.
100%.
How about these fucking villains in this episode, though?
Thank you. That was exactly what I wanted to talk about, Newland.
Lord Baby Man. Yes.
The Nebraska family. All right.
The Nebraska. Okay, this is absolutely a trope, right? Because I feel like I've seen this several times before, which is really big monster man and little scientist
do you know where
guy.
I've seen it? SpongeBob.
It's been on SpongeBob. It's in One Punch Man did this. So many shows, and this is a very continual idea of big muscle monster and little scientist.
Yes. Also, how do you imprison a person who's like 4 stories tall? How do you do that?
Oh my God! Did you see that? Like on the fucking episode 6, we see their bounty sheet, and Gofsef's height is listed at like 36 feet tall.
Jesus
If
Christ!
he's that big, do you really even need to list it? Like, he's just the guy you can see from 3 blocks away.
Just write big.
Right, just large. Sounds like a steam train.
Think.
Like, I don't know. I also like how they had a 700-year imprisonment, and he was like, "I'm tired of that. I don't need parole. I'm just gonna leave."
Yeah, wait a second. 700 years?
700
You
years
kidding?
was their imprisonment. They were supposed to be like sentenced to 700 years in prison. I was like, huh? Will you live that long? Well, they just, okay. But
Are you,
I don't know, man.
and really, are you free after 700 years? Do you serve a 700-year sentence and then walk out the door?
Nah. I also like how we get a variation of the first kind of like weapon that we saw in the first episode, where we've got big large man's punching arm on the same like like
another
rope
retractable
police
weapon.
on the retractable weapon kind of system thing, which was very cool. And a thing that I pointed out that I liked about it was that it's very much like a cybernetic kind of arm where he can still feel stuff when he shoots it.
Yeah, he feels pain and cries out when it gets shot.
He still feels pain and stuff when he gets shot. And I was like, oh, so it's not just like a big old robot arm. It's your whole arm that you put wires in.
It's a proper cyborg man.
Yeah, a real cyborg guy. I was like, that was very cool. But it was dope. I was like, oh shit. I'd like a
really love
rocket
also
fist.
the way Vash like sends a message to them
by writing it on his fist.
Yeah, just writes a little note on his hand so he gets it when it comes back.
I
That's
love
great.
fucking with the villains. The writing on the hand, the toy gun also. Just absolute power move of, if I had a real gun, you would be dead 5 times over.
Right, absolutely. And like the when they did shoot up the first villains in that 5th episode, when they shot up the bar and like they thought he was dead, but it was just like ketchup or barbecue sauce or something.
Tomato juice.
Yeah, tomato juice.
He's like celebrating with them as they're like talking about how they're going to spend their $60 billion double dollars.
He's like, that's so
Bugs
great. I'm like,
Bunny
wait a
shit.
minute. He's just the most Bugs Bunny dude, man. Amazing.
The power that comes from combining Looney Tunes with shonen anime.
Absolutely, 100%.
Put Vash in multiverses.
Wait, hold on. Have I asked this question of y'all?
Maybe.
Who would win in a fight to the death?
Oh shit. Oh god.
Donald or Daffy Duck?
Oh.
Daffy Duck. There's no fucking question.
Yeah.
What?
He has a kind of unhinged, like depraved craven
Yeah, Daffy
energy.
Duck has the capacity to kill. Donald Duck will fail to heal his friends and then just get absolutely murdered by the first stray lightning bolt.
I absolutely love asking people who have played Kingdom Hearts this question.
Yeah,
so many people
because
hate
you know,
Donald Duck
Donald's
because
useless.
of Kingdom Hearts because he's so fucking useless.
Kick him out of the party.
Donald has a
Squeenix.
toothless anger. He really does to me. I don't think Donald Duck could kill a person.
No. Daffy Duck could absolutely survive, if not thrive, in the world of Trigun. Donald would
Daffy
make
Duck
it a day.
has bodies in the basement right now already. He has killed before.
His bill has gone completely
The
around
opposite
his
of Vash
skull.
the Stampede.
Is he Vash's twin brother? Who knows?
We haven't gotten that far.
I've got that far.
Jesus Christ. Somewhere out there has to be art of like Bugs Bunny in the Vash the Stampede coat. Like someone has to have done that, right?
100%. You know what? Let's take us.
If we were running around
gotta
in
find
the
out.
90s and early 2000s, putting the Tasmanian Devil and Tweety Bird in Bloods and
my
Crips
God.
jerseys, you absolutely know they have done this to Bugs Bunny with Vash the Stampede.
I'm looking.
Because look, it's too perfect.
Yeah, 100%.
Listener, if you've seen fan art of the likes that we're describing, you owe it to yourselves and to all the other members of the Anime Club to post it.
I can't find it. Someone please find it or make it, or I would really like to see that.
So, or you know what? Here's the other thing you can do is send us money so we can commission art of this. So we can really give it the attention it deserves.
Yeah, we'll do a fundraiser.
Please.
I also want to say, you know, we're having a lot of fun. Episode 5 and 6 seem to kind of be a step up in terms of like using the medium as well. Like I know, like initially episode 5 as it was opening, I was like, oh, this is very artistic, isn't it? When the bandits bust in and it's like all slow shots, but like, I mean, it was very artistic. It was very cool.
It was cool. I thought it was a step up.
And they start doing more of that style of thing, getting a little interesting with the visuals, like trying to do something more than just represent what's happening on the screen, like show us a little bit about the characters, what they're thinking about and what's going through their heads and stuff, which I like to see that.
Agreed. I really enjoyed that.
I like how they bring that animation motif back. Like they bring that convention back at the end of episode 6, where like they have that concept of like, because what I got from that at the beginning of episode 5 and at the ending of episode 6, where it's like for the specific people that are involved in this moment, the world has stopped or slowed. It's that, you know, that moment of like suspension in time. And it was used really impactfully, I think, in both ways. Because if in both episodes, because in episode 5, I took it from the perspective of the little boy who's begging his mother for a real gun, but then and like how it's like, yes, you want a real gun, but you now have firsthand experience on what a real gun can do. And then fast forward to episode 6, where it's like this moment of reconciliation between Vash and Elizabeth, with everybody, with this weird juxtaposition, and it's like this other big reconciliation with Elizabeth, where she's actively trying to kill Vash because she has a Derringer in his gut. And at the same time, there are people running by them cheering Vash and congratulating him for saving the day. Yeah. And she's just like, but she can't reconcile
the entire
that.
Town.
Yeah, he saved the entire town, while this woman was like, but you destroyed my entire town, didn't you? Kind of thing. Which I like how they were using it to like juxtapose people's realities with what's really going on, which I thought was really, really cool.
I completely agree. I think this is a pair of episodes. I'm really glad we watched these two together because it bookends itself very well. Hey, one thing I don't know that we talked about yet. Vash, at the end here, you were talking about him and Elizabeth, drops this bomb that he does not remember what happened.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to hear your all's thoughts on that.
I mean, I don't know if I would say I was surprised, but it's very, very interesting. He also mentioned he has some childhood memories. And so that stands out as well. So it's not just like he woke up in the center of a crater. He was a child who had a life, and then there's a big gap, and then he woke up at the center of a crater.
Yeah, it's not that usual problem of amnesia where it's like, oh, you're essentially a whole new person now, right? It's right. This is Vash, and something happened, I don't know, and here I am.
I said this before the podcast, but the kids going love and peace in episode 5 unlocked a room in my mind palace that I had forgotten about. So when we got to the end of episode 6 and Vash is like, I don't remember, another door opened, and I was like, oh shit, oh yeah, because remember, I've seen this before.
That's right.
So I know
you
why he doesn't have
knowings of the ways.
I remember these things, so I forgot that this is when we get this twist, when we get this wrinkle in the character development. That's Vash. But when he said it, I was like, oh, yes, that's because...
I'm remembering. Because
it's like, the other one. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
But
and
if I
there's
do that,
another
then it gets
interesting.
spoilery.
There's another interesting little tiny bit of information that we get from Vash in 5, where he says, as he's cornered, he talks about how he's on a mission. He's looking for a specific man.
Yeah.
So like these are the two things I know
Yeah.
about Vash now, is that he's like, look, there's a guy he's looking for, and he has this big memory gap.
Yeah. So we also got another glimpse into
We
this.
got number 3.
Well, it was earlier, and it was like, I can't remember the episode exactly. I think it was 3. It was 3 or 4 where he says something like, he takes a moment where he's like, and I think it was like May or something, but it wasn't, the name started with an M, and he says something like, for somebody, and then he like moves on, and it's like this brief moment.
Shit,
And
I
it was
remember
like,
this.
That's actually allusion to his childhood.
Nice.
That's an allusion to his childhood.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yes. And I was like, oh, okay, that's where she comes up. Okay, cool, because she becomes really relevant towards the end, where we meet the reason for why Vash has a bounty on his head and like all this other stuff. And that already got too close to spoiler territory, so I've got to stop talking now.
Can I actually can I drop one more Vash mystery here that I am curious about, which is what the fuck did he do inside the reactor? What was that? What he reaches his arms up into the sky
and photosynthesizes it? I have no idea.
Communes with the light bulb reactor, which
I really love
again,
those
that's
reactors.
another whole topic we have to get into.
Yeah,
know.
so there are these big fucking facilities that, according to the people who live here, make it possible to live on this planet, but nobody knows what they do.
So for those of y'all who have suffered greatly, these reminded me immediately of those pyramid things in Mass Effect Andromeda. Did we all suffer that, or was I just the masochist?
That one.
Okay, I was just the person who really was in a deep pit at that point in my life.
Thank you for conducting that necessary research for us, Stevie.
Oh, it took me 2 years to finish that game, and when I finally picked it back up 2 years after I got tired of dealing with the glitches, I was 98% complete with it. I only had 20 minutes left to do.
Oh my god.
Sometimes that's just how an RPG goes.
I was so mad at that game. It was so bad. But in that game, there are these pieces of humongous technology that were essentially embedded in the planet left by an alien civilization, a la Mass Effect. Where they were made in order to let the planet be terraformed and also to make the planet habitable, and able to sustain human life. And so that's what those reminded me of, those big light bulb reactor generator things. It was like, oh, so while it can't like completely terraform the planet, it can at least make the planet habitable for humans, which I think is really cool. But it's like, I don't remember if we get into why they're there and who put them there. I truly couldn't tell you. But I forgot that that's what they were for, because we've seen them in the background of a lot of the towns.
Oh yeah, it's in the opening too. In fact, I took notes on it last time because I'm like, what is that?
Yeah,
and I was glad to get an answer. Essentially, I mean, it seems like alien or ancient tech. The words they use are it allows them to do things beyond theoretical law.
Yeah, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah,
I guess things that they thought were not possible. I think essentially.
I mean, living on a desert planet with absolutely no vegetation and 2 fucking suns is kind of beyond theoretical law. 2 suns seems bad. 2 suns seems like a really, like, everybody's got cancer. All y'all got, what's that one that starts with an M and ends with an A? Melanoma. I just want to say myelotheloma, but I know that's the wrong one. That's the one with like asbestos and stuff.
If you or someone you know has been affected by mesothelioma,
I know it's
you guys remember those weird commercials?
Oh yeah,
I do. I know it's not that one. It's the other one. It's the sun cancer.
Yeah, it's melanoma, I think.
Melanoma. I'm sorry. It just has the word melanin in it, and I couldn't say that as a black woman that melanin had a negative connotation. I can't. I don't know what that's like.
You're contractually bound, I understand.
Yeah, thank you.
Fucking,
so I don't know. Oh, can we talk about that big train?
Oh, the very big train.
Yes,
Love
our
the big
big old
train.
sand steamer.
Humpback class.
Yes, I just love the tech in this. I love the tech in this.
So
This, like,
good. The
space
design
age
is
Wild
impeccable.
West stuff. It's so cool. And they're huge, right? Like they're meant to like also carry merchants and like all this stuff. And like they did this huge festival for it. I thought it was very dope. It was very dope.
And also, there's a fun combination of like visual styles going on across multiple like time periods. I'm thinking specifically when Elizabeth walks off, that she's wearing this costume that is like evocative of a Southern belle, but also like cut like a future costume. You know what I mean? Like it just looks like the future, but it has the line of like a ball gown from the I don't know. I'm about to show my ass here. Like
Antebellum South.
1800s. Yes, there we
Antebellum
are.
South. Is that what you're
Like
thinking?
the Wild West.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that's what I like about the design. It's very saloony, Wild Wild West, like the early 1900s, like post-Victorian era for that. But then it's also got like these not neo-futuristic, but it's what half of the things were designed in the 50s, but like that metropolis kind of feel with the clean lines and the curves and like the rounding, like because I'm thinking of like the sand steamer like is very evocative of that Art Nouveau. That's what I'm thinking of, that Art Nouveau kind of style. But then we also have like Antebellum South and like Wild West kind of elements, which is with like in this like bleak landscape, which I think is like really cool. I've always loved about this.
It's some really fun stuff to put in a blender, essentially, is how I would describe it.
Yeah.
Like these are some fun items that you've thrown into the mix.
Yes. Great names that I heard in this. When Elizabeth is walking by, the guy who looks like a dollar store rodeo clown.
Okay, this guy.
His name, Supersonic Sodom the Great, I think is what I heard.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
And I
A lot
immediately
of blink and you'll miss it.
power
Incredible
bottom.
lines.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe we should also just talk about this 5 minutes of this whole episode because this was gross and weird.
Yeah, everybody wants to be Elizabeth's little puppy in this episode.
Also Meryl, apparently. Like,
Yeah.
This is like a meme in this city of Inapril. Everybody's really into this for some. I don't know. What's up, guys? Like writers, translators for this episode. I don't know who holds the blame here. What's up? Are we good?
Yeah, well, because there
Are
was
y'all
like
all
the
right?
whole thing. Yeah, because it was like there was an illusion. There was this constant dog metaphors, lots of puppy play, but then there was an outright like just like insult thrown at Meryl, which was just like, okay, that
from
was a little bit.
Vash.
Yeah, from Vash, which was a little bit like, whoa, that's very out of left field for Vash, to be absolutely honest. He's never like outright, like him and Meryl have a contentious relationship, but he's never outright like disrespected Meryl to her face like that. I was like, dang, okay. That was excessive, but go off, I guess. Which I thought was a very, very strange.
agreed. Some weird moments in these episodes, and what are otherwise really fantastic episodes of anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just blows my mind the how much of it is in this episode.
Yeah.
And just in general, there's a lot of stuff making it through whatever like content filter. Like this was not nearly.
Remember, this was on Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're allowed to say cuss words such as the gunman who, after thinking he's killed Vash the Stampede, says, "I'm so excited I could shit."
Oh, yeah. For what?
You know what that thing we all say.
I've never been that excited. I've been excited to shit, but I've never been excited that I'd shit my pants.
Never.
No.
At one point, one of the children also says shit. Like they're getting their fill of the cussing wherever they can here.
They're having a good
that's
time.
They've
right.
gone mad with power.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, because it wasn't like, isn't that kid who tries to pick up Meryl, like, isn't that an actual kid or whatever? Because Millie's like,
They call
you
him
don't
a
want to know
kid.
how old she is because they call him a kid.
And that's when Vash comes in and calls Meryl real bitchy.
Yeah. Like, what?
Okay, Vash. All right, bud. Noted.
Super.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what? I don't know. And then the thing with the assassin, there was this moment where he like shoots off the assassin's mask and it's like, oh, you're actually kind of cute. I'm like, are you bi? You're bisexual, Vash?
Yeah,
No, because
bisexual
in that
Vash.
exact episode, he says the line, I wrote it down, I don't like sleeping with men, especially ugly ones.
Right.
But wait, doesn't that line imply that he does sleep with some men? Hold on. He just doesn't
If they're
like
not
it?
ugly.
He doesn't like it?
Yeah.
Well, what we know
Because
is that Vash is
especially
probably not
ugly
averse.
ones. Okay.
We're learning so much about Vash. You know, a lot of exposition in these 2 episodes.
There was a lot. It was very weird. Although one of my favorite lines was the second time they run into the assassin in the power plant, and Vash just goes, "Can't you run?" I'm like,
And
damn.
the camera, I thought this was clever. The camera does, in fact, cut to the fact that Elizabeth is wearing clothing that would make running quite impossible for her.
Right.
So that's kind of a fun, they're justifying something, and I like that. They're putting in a little bit of homework there.
Right. Reader, she could not run.
Reader, she could not. He's not just being dumb.
Right.
Or he is just being dumb, rather.
Right. Oh no. But I did like how, and we talked about this at the beginning, but how when we find out that Vash doesn't remember anything between his childhood and the moment of the decimation of the town of July, that I got this impression, I don't know if y'all did, I mean, I guess come at me because I'm speaking in draft here, but it kind of gave me this glimpse into, you know, why he's doing what he's doing. He's allowing people to heap on, you know, the blame for crimes he may or may not have committed, you know? But he fully accepts that if someone says, well, you did this to my town or you did this to my family, he's very open to saying, okay, and I'm sorry
he's
for that.
carrying a burden for sure.
Yeah,
he's
carrying
this is
a
not
burden.
just like, oh, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, no, he's not trying to absolve himself of responsibility, whether or not he deserves to be held accountable for it. He's ready to take on that accountability, and you really get that at the end of episode 6, which I thought was pretty. I was like, oh, that's pretty. That makes you care about this literal Bugs Bunny ass motherfucker running around eating
That's how they
donuts
get
and
you.
pancakes.
You know, first they make you laugh and then they make you cry.
Do you understand why he's one of my Ryokos?
Yeah,
I
mean,
get
how
it.
could you
I
not?
100% get it.
Thank you. Yeah, how can he not?
And if you haven't been watching the episode along with us, the moment that we're kind of referring to is that Elizabeth reveals that, you know, she lived in the place where, you know, Vash had his first big, gigantic blow up, and she is about to shoot him until he's just so he's quite literally disarmingly kind to her in this moment.
Yeah.
And she just can't bring herself to do it because he's not this unrepentant monster. He's a guy who, as we've been talking about, genuinely recognizes that he causes a lot of harm in the world and is interested in making amends for that. She was
planning to kill a monster, and that's not what she found.
Yeah. And she was struggling to reconcile with the fact that he wasn't a monster because, like we all know, it's easier to you know, not saying it people, but when it comes to things like problems, when a problem can be explained simply, it's easy to take it apart and fix the problem or whatever. But when a problem is a person, you know, a person is not 2-dimensional, even if they are, because Vash Stampede is technically 2-dimensional because he's an animation.
He's a cartoon character. He's rendered on paper.
He's rendered on paper. But, you know, people are more complicated than that. And if a person is a problem, it's not something as simple as just being like, well, getting rid of you will fix all of these problems that were left, because it doesn't, right?
And I really got the vibe that he was, in fact, going to let her pull that trigger if that's what
Absolutely.
she needed to do in that moment.
Same.
It seemed like he was ready for that because, again, he seems to have quite a bit of remorse himself for what's happened. And I think that this is just making the character obviously so much more interesting to see all of these different things stacked on top of each other. There's there's the gunslinger, but there's also the sort of repentant, you know, humanoid typhoon. And on top of that, also there's a veneer of buffoonery.
Yes.
And you start to wonder who the real Vash is, what the real Vash is like, if we even know the real Vash at all.
We have. I can tell you that we have. I can't because it's because you said something that really stuck out to me where it's you know, how he like, yeah, he's carrying this burden, but it's like, you know, who's he doing it for? Why is he doing it? I'm just thinking like, we learn about this so soon. We learn about this so soon because like we understand who he's looking for, and like we learn in later episodes who he's looking for, why he lets people talk to him and treat him this way, why he just allows this bounty to go on instead of trying to clear his name. And it's like there's a certain type of responsibility that he feels like he shirked, and that's why he does all the things he does. And I'm just like, oh, it's very good. I can't recommend this. We
love a reluctant hero, folks.
We do. We're suckers. We're suckers.
I gotta say, I did not expect to fall for this anime as much as I did.
Dude,
I think I've said that for almost every one we've watched, but
this is different though. This is like another level for me. Like I'm a bigger Trigun fan than I expected.
Same. It is gonna be tough for me to walk away onto the next one without going through and just finishing this right now.
Same, because I was just like, man, I ain't seen this in a hot minute. And I was like, yo, like we got back into it and I was like, oh, this is why this one is good. And like the great thing about this one too, it's like, damn, it's like super good because it's like, it's one of those ones where like, and I think I mentioned this when we first got into it, but I had rewatched Outlaw Star within like the last 6 months before we actually started diving into it as a series on this podcast. And like, I did rewatch it and I was like, okay, it's got its moments. And I was like, oh, Gene kind of sucks towards Melfina, like all those kind of things. He does. He kind of sucks towards Melfina, all those kinds of things. And I got through it, and I remember I was sitting there looking like my dad, with my arms crossed on the couch, going like, huh. Well, I can say I saw it as an adult. But now with Trigun, I'm sitting here like, man, like one, I did not realize how much of this series stayed in my memory. And two, like, oh my God, like, holy shit, this is one of the reasons why I fell in love with anime. Because this is one of my first animes that I sat down and watched, like, was like religious about, like summer visits at my dad's house, sneaking out of my bedroom late at night to watch it on Adult Swim because it was out, on TV late, and like tried to watch it from start to finish. And I was like, this is the kind of anime that I've always loved. This is because this is stuff that I got into first. This Gundam Wing, Bebop, like same kind of vibe.
You know what, Stevie, I would love is when we get to an episode where we could talk just more freely about anime in general, would be for us to explore some of these first animes for us. Because it's so fascinating to me talking to people and their different experiences and like what brought them into anime. But for everyone, it is very much this like, oh, this is a different medium. Like there is nothing else like this.
Yeah. I mean, at the time, it wasn't.
And in a way that is just absolutely fascinating to me.
Yeah, same. Because, like, I think of, like, what was on TV at the time that I was, like, watching a lot as a kid. And it was like, the really cool cartoons that were on Cartoon Network in that cartoon block that made me somehow feel like I was better than people who watched Nickelodeon. No shade to people who watch Nickelodeon. But it was, like, Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken, Ed and Eddie, Dexter's Lab, Powerpuff Girls, Courage Cowardly Dog.
I watched so many cartoons as a kid. These are,
dude. I was cartoons only as a child for a little while.
Same.
Like I was vehement about this until I was like 16.
I actually never watched a lot of live action anything. And so like I don't, when people are like, oh, iCarly, oh, Xenon Girl 21st Century, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because I never watched Salute Your Shorts, Pete and Pete. I know what they are, but I've never seen an episode.
I did watch them from time to time, but I'm realizing now that the majority of it was animation, and I think that's bled through to my adulthood.
Same.
Yep, here we are.
Same. But like it was for me, like when I first started watching anime, I was like, oh, it felt still accessible because I was a child, but it felt like it was dealing with more mature themes that I could begin to relate to and start to understand because I was growing up, and I was growing up with them in a lot of ways. And so like when American or like Western animation started catching up and realizing that, oh wait, kids can handle this stuff, and we started getting things like Avatar: The Last Airbender and stuff.
Yes.
It was like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Now we don't have to keep going with like, but Ed, butter toast anymore. So, although I fucking love Ed and Eddie.
No, I'm not gonna.
Specific
never
poll
gonna
there,
shit on Ed and
comparing
Eddie.
to Ed and Eddie. I once saw, I just got to pull this out. Like, I know we're getting near the end here, but like, I once saw a mod for Dark Souls that replaced all of the sound effects with the Ed, and Eddie sound effect library. It's unbelievable.
I might have to go find this. That's so
You
good.
might have to go find it. Because holy shit. And I didn't think about it until then because that show really did have a totally outrageous sound effects library.
Literally wheezing.
Very unique
I need
sounding.
my inhaler.
Oh, I'm so excited for this. I'm always looking for a
Sorry,
fresh take
Stevie.
on my favorite series of video games.
I'm just thinking of like the goat sound.
Oh my god, they did have a lot of goat sounds in that show.
Because of Rolf. Because of Rolf. And boys, I fucking love that show. I fucking love that.
the son of a shepherd.
When Rolf came back as a black Twitter meme, I felt so vindicated.
Life has many doors, Ed boys.
Oh God, I'm gonna.
Oh man. So you may have heard us obliquely referencing moving on from Trigun. Well, for better or for worse, that time has come that we in the Anime Club shift our sights from one property to another. And though we've had tremendous fun with Trigun, we'll be coming back, I think.
For sure.
Absolutely.
There's pretty much no way we're not going to watch the rest of this, if not for this show, then just to see what happens. But I think coming up next, as the capstone to season 1 of the Afterschool Anime Club, I want to get into something that I once moved back into something that I have familiarity with, and that Stevie has familiarity with, but that's something that Mr. Kostrak here has not experienced at all.
Was it?
And it's the mobile suit show that caught America by storm.
Yes.
Gundam Wing.
Oh yes, my nipples are so hard with excitement.
Excited. This show's been recommended to me so many times. I just
go.
happened to completely miss it. And I love mechs
Brilliant
and
TV show.
space and sci-fi, and I think I'm gonna love this.
Give me Zex Marquis. Give me Troa and Dua and Katra and Woofei. Come on, let's go. Yes.
So many cool fucking Gundams.
Keto.
Man, I have missed mecha anime. It's been a long time since I watched one. We're going to fix that mistake. And you know what? They made a Gundam Wing movie that we might also just have to watch at some point.
Are we gonna watch it? Are we gonna watch Endless Waltz? Are you for real? Are you really gonna give me Endless Waltz? Let's go.
We're going to be doing a lot of planning over the next few weeks on exactly what's going to happen for season 2 of Afterschool Anime Club, and we'll keep you abreast of all these.
Like most
developments.
clubs, we operate in seasons:
Yes.
summer, winter, fall.
Yes.
Excuse me, semesters. Hello.
Second semester of Anime Club. Yeah.
Second
That'll be fun.
semester.
That is actually what we should call it, Stevie. I gotta hand it to you.
We can
Yeah.
call them semesters.
And then after 8 semesters, we can have a graduation ceremony for Anime Club.
Oh, yes.
Then we can become anime doctors after that.
Yes, that's
Do we
been my
have to
plan all along.
Wait, no. Do we have to apply for anime residencies? Yeah,
Then
we
we'll
get
do our-
anime bachelors
My anime bachelors.
and then masters and bachelors. And then we have to apply for
I've
anime
got a
residency and then
BAA.
doctors. Got a BFAA.
Thank you for adding the F in, Stevie. I was afraid to, and I shouldn't have been.
I do have a BFA. I have a legitimate
Yeah, Bachelor of Fine Arts of
Yes.
Anime. A
Bachelor of Fine
BFAA.
Arts. BFAA.
We call that a BFA.
Beef of these nuts. I'm sorry,
That's it.
I
That's
don't
the
know.
end. We're
You
done.
had to do it. No, you had to. I completely thank you, Newland. Thank you.
Take us home, Newland.
All right. bell means that this week's meeting of the After School Anime Club's come to a close. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you. If you'd like to follow us online, you can. It's at Anime Club Pod. I'm on Twitter at Max Newland. Max, how about you?
You can find me on Twitter. It's at Max_attacks.
And Stevie.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter under the handle A Smattering on both platforms.
It would make us happy if you reviewed our podcast. You know?
Please.
If you give us 5 stars, you leave a rating, and you write a review that's funny and entertaining and contains 0 chicken-headed shit, hey, you'll hear my voice reading it. Let me check. You know, I actually haven't looked. Parting the curtain, I'm just gonna take a little look. We might have something. I don't know. We might have some. I'm not sure. Oh, this Apple ID's been locked for security reasons.
Oh no!
Okay, maybe we'll get back to that next episode.
After School Anime Club busted.
Whoops.
The feds are coming.
No shit.
Oh no!
Quick, everybody, hide
Wipe
your
your
anime
phones. Wipe your
collections.
phones.
We're so glad we got to spend this time with you, and delete this episode as soon as you're done listening, or they're coming to you. We'll see you at the next meeting. Thanks again.
波が聞こえる心